Greetings. Today's guest is a Frank Holton and Company LL-50 trumpet made in 1965, silver plated, very nice condition. This belongs to a friend of mine. Thank you, Raul, for lending me this. Raul also sent me some very interesting information about the entire line of Frank Holton / Holton trumpets and cornets. I'll share a link down in the description. It's very interesting. I had no idea that Holton had made so many different models for nearly a century. Of course, many of us are aware of Holton trumpets. MF horn, for example, Maynard Ferguson played those instruments in the 70s and the 80s. Al Hirt also had a signature model. They manufactured a 4-valve quarter tone trumpet for Don Ellis in the 70s as well. Other than that, you've probably heard of the various Herbert Clark model cornets from the early 20th century, the Edward Llewellyn models, and there are many, many more manufactured by originally Frank Holton and Company. Later it was just called Holton, and their factory was located in Kenosha, Wisconsin. This horn, as you can see, has a very interesting wrap. That is how the bell and tuning slide are shaped. This is very similar to the Constellation. The only real difference I can see is the fact that these are Z braces, as you might see on a Benj or a Bach or many other manufacturers. The Constellation had these interesting, somewhat weak at times, braces between the bell and the lead pipe. This is not a Constellation. This is a 22B. We'll meet this in a future video. I don't have a Constellation anymore to measure. I do have some photos, and we can just kind of take a look at the photos and some measurements I took of this horn compared to a more conventional instrument. There are probably more similarities than differences between this LL-50 and the Constellation. The wrap, as we already mentioned, the first slide trigger, although the Constellation also had an adjustable stop here. The third slide stop, somehow trying to compete, I guess, with the Constellation, which was still probably fairly popular at the time. This is a really nice detailed trumpet here. These knurled finger buttons and top caps and bottom caps are really stylish. These inlays, I don't know if these are aftermarket. They're very convex. You kind of get the feeling of insecurity because there's not a whole lot of surface area for you to contact with your fingertips. Other than that, it's a really nice playing horn. One of the big differences, getting back to the differences between this one and the Constellation, would be the bore size. This is, as far as I can measure, it's a 460 MO bore, whereas the Constellation was a small 438 bore. That's quite a big difference, talking about bore sizes. And the 38B Constellation, which had the larger bell, that was a 5 1/8 inch bell, I believe. This is slightly smaller. Other than that, it looks and feels similar to a Constellation. We heard the LL-50 during the intro. Let's listen in a little bit more closely. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. That's all I got.